Good evening. I'd like to call order the Newman City Council regular meeting, March 26, 2024. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. Just want to say that all minds are cleared this evening, that we may take care of the business for the city of Newman. And in the Bible it says, when there's two or more gathered, our Father in heaven is in our presence. And we want to thank him that we have a blessed evening and take care of the business for the city of Newman. Amen.
Roll call.
Councilmember McDonald,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Ball,
Here.
Councilmember Tomlinson,
Here.
Councilmember Pimentel, Mayor Graham.
Here. Any declarations of conflicts of interest tonight? No. No ceremonial minutes. Items from the public. Anybody wishing to address the board or the council from the public? Not seeing any. Item number 8, consent. Welcome.
Welcome, Mayor Pro Tem, council members, city staff, committee. Thank you, Gavin Klein, Congressman Duarte's office. A little bit of a lengthy report today, but it's all great stuff to hear. So I'll make sure to go quick through it. Congressman Duarte last month was able to hold a press conference in Modesto introducing the bipartisan high-intensity drug trafficking area reauthorization of 2024, which provides over $300 million annually to help stop the spread of fentanyl and other illicit drugs in the Central Valley and across the United States. Congressman Duarte at the press conference was joined by local law enforcement officials, and this bill is supported by both Republicans and Democrats in the House. And this bill will provide necessary resources for our local law enforcement around the country to continue fighting the epidemic sweeping our country, poisoning our country, fentanyl. And what this bill does is reauthorizes the HIDA program at $302 million annually through fiscal year 2030, which is a $22 million increase from the previous authorization act. Creates a new grant program within a HIDA program that individual HIDAs can apply for to enhance fentanyl seizure and addictive activities. It requires reporting on coordination between both law enforcement and immigration authorities to crack down on international drug cartels. And it directs the U.S. Attorney General to assign no less than 16 United States attorneys to individual HIDAs at HIDA's request to prioritize the investigation and prosecution of organizations and individuals trafficking fentanyl to ensure these criminals are prosecuted to the full extent of the law. You know, up and down our district, Congressman Duarte has seen the toll fentanyl and other drugs have taken on our families and our children in the community. For Americans aged 18 to 45, fentanyl is now the leading cause of death. And in 2023 alone, approximately 112,000 Americans died from this drug. Too many. Yeah. Congressman Duarte is committed to supporting our local law enforcement agencies to protect our communities against this fight that's poisoned our communities with fentanyl. And then another bill that Congressman Duarte introduced and was passed through the House is the Confidence in Clean Water Permits House Resolution 7013. It has successfully passed the House as part of the Chairman Rouser's bill, which is H.R. 7023. Its passage helps guarantee the National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System permits provide clear and reliable listings and regulations, making them easily accessible and user-friendly to the permit holders. Currently, the EPA's National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System permit riders often include language in permits that provide loopholes for groups to sue and block permits needed for critical energy and other infrastructure projects or improvements. Congressman Duarte, what his provision does is it closes the loopholes and limits the opportunity of unwanted lawsuits, codifying previously longstanding practices at the EPA to shield permit holders from liability as long as they've acted in good faith and according to the terms of their permit. This type of regulatory certainty and legal protection from the permit holders is necessary in improving our valley's water infrastructure. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. We greatly appreciate it. Anybody else from the public? Nope. All right. Item 8, consent calendar. A, waive all readings of ordinance and resolution except by title. B, approval of warrants. C, approval of minutes of March 12th, 2024 meeting. And D, appoint Appointment to fill the Historical Society vacancy on the Architectural Review Committee.
I move that we accept the consent calendar for this period.
Second.
We have a first and second. Go and vote. Motion carries 4-0 with one absent. I'd like to thank Brian Thompson for applying for the position. The volunteer work that everybody does and all the different groups in the community is vital to our community, and it's greatly appreciated. And it's people like you willing to step forward that help our community. So thank you. Item number 9, public hearings. Adopt resolution 2024, next number, declaring the existence of a public nuisance under ordinance number 281, mistletoe abatement. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Good evening, Council. Let's talk mistletoe. I believe there's a, okay, that's, a lot of our residents don't know what mistletoe looks like. And thank you, Mikey, for putting these pictures together. Very famous in the month of December, very beautiful, where it's a parasite. And here in the city of Newman, we have an ordinance that no trees got to have mistletoe. We need to remove it. So for that, in mid-January, Public Works conducted the annual mistletoe inspection on all city trees, city-owned trees and private trees. 28 city-owned trees were reported with mistletoe, which we removed, and 34 private trees were reported with mistletoe. Therefore, abatement notices for removal of mistletoe were sent out on February 2nd, 2024 to 31 properties, and 3 more notifications on February 20th, 2024. This with accordance with the City of Newman Municipal Code, Chapter 9.06, Section 9.06.020, Notice to Abate. This notice informs property owners of all nuisance abatement procedures, options, and their right to object at a public hearing. Also, we explain the mistletoe is a parasite that damages trees and kills trees by absorbing their water and nutrients. For this reason, removal is required. Weeks later, when we inspected the 34 trees and 20 property owners removed the mistletoe. On March 11, 2024, the 14 properties remaining were served with certified letters to remove mistletoe and given a public hearing notice. It was anticipated that additional property owners would have comply with the abatement notices prior to the hearing date. A final compliance survey was done today, Tuesday, March 26, 2024, and only 2 properties have removed the mistletoe. 12 properties still have mistletoe. The following properties are recommended for abatement: 1930 Pine Street, 1923 Pine Street, 1956 T Street, 1625 Blue Spruce Way, 1618 Blue Spruce Way, 1321 Kaya Drive, 1367 Merganser Court, 619 Ranny Court, 613 Ranny Court, 647 Foxglove Avenue, 617 Foxglove Avenue, and 1441 Street. I can answer any questions if you have any.
I have a quick question for you.
Yes, sir.
I think every year we deal with this particular subject in terms of the mistletoes. It seems that some of the residents might find it cheaper for the city to find them and you guys taking down the mistletoes to where if they get a contractor, it might be costing them more.
Yes, what we hire a contractor. We hire a landscaper to do it for various reasons, and one is equipment. A lot of these trees, they're required to be climbed. So the contractor has climbers, they go in and they inspect every little strand's got to be removed. With the city, we don't have a set cost that's fair and reasonable for the property owner or for the city. We don't have that. So we remove our mistletoe from our trees. Then we reach out to our local landscapers, get quotes, and we go with the lowest quote in this.
I guess what I'm trying to I guess, recognizes that each house is, you send out a notice and saying that it would cost them X amount of dollars.
Correct.
Correct?
Yes.
So what I'm thinking is because after sending 2 or 3 notices and they don't comply,
Right.
they're finding, this is my feeling, is that they're finding it, much cheaper for them to be fined and you guys go ahead and have somebody come do the work than them hiring someone.
That could be the case, yes.
Yes, and so that's, I don't know how you get around that, in terms of maybe,
I know in the past
fees
they had,
going up or something.
I know in the past they had called us saying, hey, we'd rather want to have you guys send someone and cut the mistletoe for us. This year, no one reached out to us, no one called.
Mm-hmm.
That could be the case, but there's still 12 locations that we have to abate.
So when you say you cut the mistletoe, are you guys also spraying it so we don't have the same problem next year?
Mistletoe, you can spray mistletoe and it'll kill the broadleaf, but the root stays alive. So it's gonna come up next year.
This will be ongoing forever. pretty
Yeah,
much,
you
the same
have to
trees.
be, mechanically, you have to cut, it's called a mechanical cut. So we have to cut the branch in order to remove it. Now, here in the city of Newman, I'm not bragging, but if you go out, you're not gonna see mistletoe in the trees unless you go by one of these trees here. But if you go to our neighbor cities, they're really devastated by mistletoe. So the program's been working fantastic.
I've seen it. So.
We're on it.
It has, and it really does kill the trees over time. It destroys them. So,
absolutely.
and it spreads very quickly via birds and that other trees. And so,
Yes.
I appreciate your guys' hard work on keeping it actually down because it does make the trees look a lot nicer and doesn't kill them. So,
Thank you.
it is a public hearing, so I'll open up for the public for any comments.
Can I ask one more question before you leave away? And I'm not sure if is there an ordinance that those trees cannot be cut down by residents?
Well, if it's their trees, they can
Their
cut their own
property.
trees down.
They can cut them down, though, right?
The ones that are on private property, they
Their-
can, but
their trees.
theirs. But there are sometimes in the older part of town between the curb and there's a grass, landscape strip, and then the sidewalk. Those are city trees. They can't touch those trees.
Can't touch them.
Those are the ones the perfecter goes out and city staff checks them, and we maintain them and we pay the cost to have those taken care of.
So I guess my question is, I'm wondering why would people want to keep them up if they're going to have this problem every year?
Well,
I mean, couldn't we send them a letter in terms of, explaining this situation to them?
Clean up the mistletoe off, and if you stay on top of it, it won't come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's still, having trees is a benefit to our community. So
Yeah.
if we go ahead and do our due diligence, and that's why we hire an outside landscaper to get up there and take care of it the correct way, so that way it doesn't have a chance of coming back. Now, sometimes it may, but most of the time they do it well enough that it's not going to come back.
And a lot of people might not have the knowledge and know about the mistletoe and the damages it can do long-term for the tree.
And many residents do cut their tree. Once they get a letter every year, they
Take it
cut
out.
the tree down, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Man.
You're welcome.
All right. It's a public hearing, so I'll open it up to the public for any comments. All right. Seeing none, I'll bring it back to the board for action.
I move to adopt resolution number 2024 declaring the existence of a public nuisance under ordinance number 281 mistletoe.
And I'll second that.
We have a first and second. Go and vote. Motion carries 4 with 1 absent. Item number 10, regular business. A, authorize city manager to execute lease agreement for the Newman preschool facility located at 1147 R Street.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. So the Newman Co-op Nursery, it was a former tenant for the old, we call it the old Oristimba Schoolhouse. It's located adjacent to the library. They've had a lease on that property since 2000, when it originally moved down from the hills and brought back into the community, and then the Historical Society put a lot of hard work and diligence into restoring it. And then they were pretty much operational around 2000, right around the end of 2002, 2003, they were able to move in. The co-op nursery had previously been operating out of the teen center prior to moving to that new location. The 2 long-term directors
for the Newman Co-op have since retired. And then it was taken over by another member who had some family issues and was no longer able to operate it, so it's actually currently sitting idle. We do have a current daycare operator who is working off of the highway right now, and she's been there since she secured her planning commission use permit in 2013. She saw the site that it was vacant, so over the last couple of months, we've had conversations and negotiations with her about relocating her business to that particular site, being the R Street site over there. Again, we met with her. We kind of went through some terms with her. We kind of come down to the point where, and I've listed out the terms for you, but the big thing is like she will maintain the outside of the building. We want to maintain its historical look. She'll paint it up a little bit on the inside, but we've already fixed up the stairs for her. And we'll maintain, again, she likes and respects the outside and the original, how the look is. And so, again, like I said, we'll continue to operate that, and she'll do some minor tenant improvements on the inside that'll accommodate her. We're looking at a 5-year lease with her. Typically, we put some extensions on those terms of the agreements on there as well. Generally, what we're going to do is, if the council so approves these terms tonight, we'll hand these off to our property manager. And then she'll come up with a commercial lease with these terms. And then the operator will work with our property manager there. It kind of gives us an arm distance there. A couple of things it does. One, we maintain the outside anyways, but she's going to take over all the utilities, and then also maintaining the inside area over there. Currently, our Public Works Department was getting in there and mowing and doing some of the other things on there. She's going to do that as part of her lease now. That'll free up our staff from having to get in there and do it. So with that, we are recommending approval, and we are recommending the council approve these terms and then authorize the city manager to execute an agreement with her. And again, we'll have our property manager draft up the commercial lease with these terms in there. So I can answer any questions that you may have.
Well, I was just thinking is that with the lease, I was saying, well, I wonder if the city's going to be taking care of the utilities, but you said that she's going to take care of it. That's a good thing.
Yeah. We'll take care of the utility as well as maintain the inside the fenced area there.
Right.
Any other questions? I'll open up to the public for any questions or comments. Seeing none, I'll bring it back to council for action.
Move we authorize the city manager to execute the lease agreement for the Newman preschool facility located at 1147 R Street.
I'll second it.
You have first and second, go ahead and vote. Motion carries 4 with 1 absent. Item number 10B, adopt resolution 2024, next number, a resolution awarding a bid for the new fencing at 1147 R Street, the old Oristema Schoolhouse, to Titan Fence, and authorizing the city manager to execute the agreement.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. It's kind of a secondary, it's kind of a phase 2 to what you just approved is, currently, there's a vinyl fence around the outside play area over there. That fence was installed in 2002, so it's 2 decades old. In addition to it, it's taken a lot of abuse from teams that are practicing out there, whether they're kicking soccer balls or hitting softballs or something in there. So it's really taken some abuse, and it's been broken up. So our public works staff went out and got a couple quotes to put a new cyclone fence up there, and it'll be like a rubber vinyl coated vinyl fence, cyclone fence over there to surround it. We think that'll last a long time, and then if you have to reskin it, it makes it a lot easier out there as well. So we did get the 2 quotes, so we are asking that you approve and award the bid to Titan Fence as the lowest responsible bidder. And I can answer any questions you may have.
Any questions? I'll open up to the public for any questions or comments. Not seeing any, I'll bring it back to the council for action.
Move we adopt resolution number 2024, a resolution awarding a bid for a new fencing at 1147 R Street, the old Oristema Schoolhouse, to Titan Fence, and authorize the city manager to execute an agreement.
Second.
We have a first and second, everybody gonna vote electronically? Motion carries with 4 with 1 absent. Item 11, items from District 5 Stanislaus County Supervisor. He's not here tonight. Item 12, items from the city manager and staff.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight, we had at 4:30 today, there was an advisory group meeting for what originally started out as a T Street corridor project. It's now been expanded to, we could call it the Newman corridor, because we've now incorporated Yellow and Inyo into those corridors as well. So the advisory group is kind of going over the drawings and the results of the charrettes. We're going to follow that up with they'll get some feedback from them. And then we're going to present it out to the community again. So in order to try to get this some more surveys done and what they think of what's being proposed, we're going to do that through social media. We're going to do that through print. We're going to take out an ad, and we're actually going to, I think Allie is going to get some teens, some seniors, and they're going to walk those areas and put like door hangers up and letting people know that, hey, we're looking for some information from you. Please complete this survey. And then we're going to have online surveys, and then we're going to have hard copy surveys, and we're going to try to get those out at the library as well as City Hall. So if people don't do internet or don't do social media, they can do a hard copy print, fill it out, and then return it back either to the library or to City Hall, and then that would count towards it. So we're going to do everything we can to try to get public input on these corridors.
What about attaching a flyer with the utility bill?
Unfortunately, we don't have enough time because the next one doesn't go out until the 18th, and we're going to be completed by then. So that was something we definitely considered, yeah. Just update, we're wrapping up our housing element update. That'll get going, heading back out to the state for their 60-day review, and then we'll bring that back to you as well as the Planning Commission for finalizing on that. Still moving forward with the Jensen Road project. Again, we think early summer we should be hitting the street with a package to go out to bids, and maybe mid to late summer you guys will be approving a bid so we can get that project moving forward. I'd like to echo the mayor's comments and thank Mr. Thompson for volunteering to do the architectural review. I know he's already sat in on a couple meetings over there, and it's an important group. They do a lot of good, and there's a lot of negotiations that goes on with people and some of the commercial developers, and I think Mr. Thompson's seen that firsthand a couple of times. So we get a lot of good buildings, and the most recent one we did and just got approved by the Planning Commission last week is a new McDonald's that's coming in on the southeast corner of Merced Street and Highway 33. So that's the scale property there. They're going to take pretty much the northern half of that. It's about, the total site's about 1.8 acres. They're going to take about an acre. What that's going to do, though, is they're going to put in full street frontage from Merced Street all the way to Stanislaus Street, and they're going to widen Merced Street by 5 feet, all new curb and gutter sidewalk there, new curb gutter sidewalk along the highway, probably mirror what you've seen was developed with Arco out there as well, in terms of what the street frontages will look like. So, because you can't only do half, right? Because our curbs are so tall, we've got to get back to the 6-inch curbs on there. So, so that's a great project. And through that project, we're going to be able to fix the turning radius at Merced Street and Highway 33. And what I mean by that is cars won't have to back up so a truck can turn right to go out of town, right? Or turn left off of Merced onto Highway 33. We've had a lot of issues on there. So by getting a new turning radius there, we should resolve a lot of those issues that go along there. So with that, just lastly, Congressman Duarte sent out a request. He's asking for cities to submit projects, and we'll be submitting 2 projects on behalf of the city. One would be for the Foster Farm site, trying to get federal dollars to clean that site up so we can move forward with our mixed-use project, commercial on the bottom, apartments up above. And then the other one will be the economic development, jobs development building across the street where the McBride building is. We'll resubmit that one on there as well. And so with that, all I have left is wishing you all a happy Easter.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Allie?
Good evening, Mayor, council members. Not too much to report on my end, other than basketball ends this week. We finally finished off our 8-week league. community every Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. With that, I can answer any questions that you may have.
When did the farmer's market start up again? I know you told us last time.
That'll start the first week of June on Friday. It'll go for 4 consecutive weeks. It'll pause for the really hot summertime here, and then we'll start it back up again mid-September and end mid-October. So we'll hit our spring-ish time-ish summertime businesses, and then we'll go into our fall to allow them to also make their crafts and sell for our community.
Good deal. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Chief?
Evening, Mayor, council members. Just a quick announcement that April will be National Distracted Drivers Month. So we received grant funding through Office of Traffic Safety, and we'll be targeting, along with every other agency in the county, distracted drivers. So people using their cell phones and driving not hands-free. So you'll see probably more of us out there on overtime during that month. And the K-9 Association wanted me to pass along that there is still crab feed tickets available for the 13th. So if you haven't got them yet, go and get them before it sells out. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Who?
Just briefly, the auditors from StanCog audited our Measure L funds, and we got the report back today with no findings. So we got the best report we could get from it. And that, nothing else to report.
Chief Bowen?
Good evening, Mayor, Council. A couple things. Our second out rig, we call it Engine 255, has been in the shop with an oil change. I don't know if you guys have seen it over there. It's a 33-year-old rig, so it had a decent oil leak, and we've just been waiting on parts. So we finally got that. We're expecting that rig back either tonight or tomorrow morning, so we'll have that engine back in the station here shortly. Newman firefighters want to remind you, they got their annual pancake breakfast this Saturday at the Memorial Building. So if you're interested in tickets, I have a few with me. We participated in the Barrington Career Day today. It sounds like it went pretty well. They did 3 presentations, if I remember correctly. So, and then we have Explorer orientation on Thursday. So if you have anyone high school age that's interested in being part of our Explorer program, they can come on out to our orientation. It'll be at the Crow's Landing Fire Station. If they need more information, they can contact the fire department. And I can answer any questions you guys might have. Thank you.
Tim?
Nothing tonight, thank you.
McDonald?
Nothing tonight. Have a nice evening.
Nothing.
I had the benefit or the privilege to do senior interviews yesterday. One of the couple days they were doing them, it was really neat to sit there with the kids and talk to them and see their plans and do interviews with them. So we have a good group of seniors and kids here in this town. So it was a lot of fun. With that, I wanted to show that I got to do that, and hope everybody has a happy Easter and a safe Easter. As for adjournment,
Move to adjourn.
Second it.
thank you, everyone.